OLLY'S ZOO by Mat. As the Jackson family walked around the various enclosures at the conservation park, they looked at the various posters around them, with all the animals' pictures on, giving their names and saying how much it would cost to adopt each one. Mrs. Jackson started to feel sorry for them. "Well, maybe we could adopt one each," she said to the rest of the family, much to their great surprise. "That's not going to cost us as much as I thought." As Ollie lay sleeping one night, he had a series of dreams. In those dreams, he imagined that he had sponsored the entire zoo and that he owned all the animals. As far as Ollie was concerned, they were his to do as he pleased. During this series of dreams, he decided to bring some of the animals home with him as his personal pets. First of all, he brought home the crocodile he had sponsored, the one called Albert, who he'd taken a particular liking to when he'd been at the zoo. "We didn't expect you to bring him home, dear," Mrs. Jackson told him. "Where's he going to stay?" she asked. "Oh, he can live in our pond," Ollie replied. "I'm afraid it isn't really big enough for him, dear. Crocodiles need lots of space," Mrs. Jackson answered back, somewhat alarmed. "Crocodiles need lots of exercise, you know, and besides, he might eat all our fish," she added wisely. "Oh," said Ollie, not being sure what to do next. Then a smile came to his face as he remembered that there was a swimming baths nearby. In his dream, he decided to take Albert off to the swimming baths for some exercise. Things didn't really go to plan, though, for the pool attendant wouldn't let him in. "I'm sorry, we don't allow crocodiles in our swimming pool. You'll have to take him somewhere else," the attendant told him sternly. In another dream, Ollie decided to take Minnie the giraffe back home with him. As they were walking along, they came across an old lady who was trying to clean her windows. She was very old and she had a bad shoulder. This made her task very difficult. Realizing that she needed help, Ollie offered to do her windows for her. "Thank you," she replied very gratefully. "I'd like to do the top windows as well, but I haven't got a ladder," she added. "Don't worry about that," Ollie told her. "I'll do the bottom windows and my assistant will do the top. Just get me a bucket of warm water without any soap and we'll get to work right away." The old lady looked at Ollie very strangely. Firstly, because she didn't see how a giraffe could do the top window, and secondly, she didn't see how he could wash windows without any soap in his bucket. Soon all would become clear to her, however. No sooner had she put a warm bucket of water down on the pavement than they both started work. After stretching her long neck up towards the windows, the giraffe then started licking the windows using her saliva to lather up the window, instead of the soap. As she licked the windows, they became very frothy from her spit. It soon got to the point where the old lady could no longer see out of the top windows. At that point, she started to get very worried. She needn't have worried, as it turned out, though. A short while later, the giraffe lowered her head down into the bucket of warm water and sucked up enough water to rinse off the froth she'd put on the windows earlier. That was why Ollie didn't want any soap in the bucket, because he knew the bubbles would get up the giraffe's nose and make her sneeze. In no time at all, the top windows were so clean that they sparkled in the sunshine. The old lady was very pleased. Ollie was very pleased too. He liked helping people because helping people made him feel good inside. After cleaning a few more windows and making some more money, Ollie and the giraffe came to a large factory at the far end of the street. As they walked past it, the man who owned the factory came out of his office to speak to them. "I wonder if you can help me?" the factory owner asked Ollie very politely. before adding, "I've got a very big problem on my hands. Because my drains are blocked, I've had to send all my workers home until I can fix the problem. I've spoken to lots of drain people, and they say that they are all too busy to help me at the moment. If I don't get the problem sorted very quickly, I will lose a lot of money because I won't be able to get my orders out to my customers." "Oh dear," Ollie answered him, feeling very sorry for him. The factory owner then went on to say, "I've heard you are very good at doing odd jobs. Would you be able to fix my drains? I will pay you very well if you can." Ollie looked at him and thought for a while before answering him. "I don't normally do drains," Ollie told him very honestly. "I'm not sure I have got the right tools to help you." The factory owner then started to get very upset. "Oh, please help me. Just name your price. You can have as much money as you want," the factory owner told Ollie in total despair. After much thought, Ollie realised this was too good an opportunity to pass up. Realising he stood to make a lot of money, Ollie replied, "Well, I can see you are in trouble, and so I will try and find a way to help you. Just give me a moment to think about your problem." Ollie then had to solve a few problems of his own. Firstly, he knew nothing about unblocking drains. Secondly, he also knew that he couldn't use Minnie the giraffe to unblock the drains, as her neck just wasn't long enough to go along the factory pipework. Luckily for everyone, Ollie suddenly came up with a very bright idea.